What's going on, guys? It is the Coaster Battleman here, bringing you an awesome video. The top 10 roller coaster big threes. There are several roller coaster parks such as Cedar Point, Kings Island, Six Flags parks, Busch Gardens, or SeaWorld parks that have big threes of their certain roller coasters. I might try another one of these, but with 1-2 punches. But let's move on with the top 10 roller coaster big threes. I say, like, how good the coasters are, and there has to be a good variety in this big three to be the best. Number 10 is Nitro, El Toro, and Kingda Ka, all at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is a solid big three in my opinion. Nitro may be a little overrated, but it's a great airtime-filled hypercoaster. El Toro is 180 feet tall with an amazing drop and an insane airtime. Kingda Ka is the tallest coaster out there, well, until Skyplex in Orlando is built. But Kingda Ka, super large roller coaster, and El Toro is one of the best wooden coasters in the world. But I feel like Nitro is just a little overrated, and same thing with Kingda Ka, but I feel like El Toro is just the perfect coaster. But I think El Toro and Nitro are too similar, so that's why they're at number 10. Number 9 is Hydra the Revenge, Talon, and Steel Force. Now, Hydra and Talon are kind of similar coasters because they're coasters that go upside down many times. But Steel Force is an airtime-filled Morgan hypercoaster that's similar to Magnum XL200. It's a solid ride. Talon and Hydra the Revenge are two of the most underrated roller coasters out there. And they're both at an underrated park, Dorney Park. And I think this is a solid big three, in my opinion. I feel like Hydra the Revenge is definitely the top, in probably the top 4 or top 5 floorless coasters. Number 8 is Mamba, Prowler, and Patriot at Worlds of Fun. Patriot, an amazing B&M invert with 4 inversions, solid ride with a beautiful color scheme. Prowler is considered one of the best GCIs out there, and it's a great terrain coaster. And the Mamba is an airtime-filled Morgan hypercoaster. I love this big threes variety. If the coasters were a bit larger, I feel like this top 3 would be higher up on this list. But let's move on to number 7 with Manta, Mako, and Kraken. These 3 B&Ms are amazing rides. Mako is an amazing B&M hypercoaster with some amazing floater airtime and overbank turns. Manta is an amazing B&M flying coaster with the pretzel loop and theming to manta rays. And Kraken is an amazing B&M floorless coaster with 7 inversions. I feel like these 3 B&Ms combined make one amazing coaster collection. Number 6 is Lightning Racer, Skyrush, and Fahrenheit at Hershey Park. I feel like this is the miniature version of number 1 on this list. You might know what it is, but I'm not going to tell you. But Skyrush is an amazing intimate hypercoaster with some amazing overbank turns and ejector airtime. Just a little short of a ride. Fahrenheit, another amazing coaster built by Intamin, has some amazing inversions. And Lightning Racer is considered one of the best or the best GCI out there due to its racing element and intense turns and airtime. Number 5 is the Six Flags Magic Mountain Big 3, Twisted Colossus, X2, and Tatsu. Twisted Colossus is considered maybe even the best RMC out there. I think it's the second best behind Lightning Rod. But this coaster is amazing, has some solid airtime moments and 2 amazing inversions. X2 is an amazing steel coaster, the last coaster built by Aerodynamics, the first ever 4D coaster. And Tatsu, which is an amazing B&M flying coaster and considered the best flying coaster in the world. This is a solid big 3, and I feel like these coasters are some of the best of their kind. Number 4 is Kumba, Montu, and Cheetah Hunt. Now, these coasters are so good, but they're kind of similar. Montu and Kumba are pretty similar coasters, but you can can compare these coasters to other coasters, but Kumba is definitely the best sit-down looping coaster in the world, in my opinion. While Montu is one of the best B&M inverts with 7 inversions, while Cheetah Hunt is probably the best family coaster in the world. I rode it when it was opened in 2011, and it was an amazing ride. It's an amazing Intamin Blitz coaster. It's small, but packs a good punch. But I feel like these coasters are a little too similar, so that's why they're not getting higher on this list. Number 3, you may be surprised by. You might think this is the best Big 3 out of any park, but I feel like it's kind of an overrated Big 3. Fury 325, I consider it so good, like top 5 in the world, top 3 even. Afterburn, one of the best B&M inverts out there. Probably not as good as Banshee, but still very good. And Intimidator, a trimmed, airtime-filled B&M hypercoaster that has tons of trims. Trim brakes are just the worst part of Intimidator, but this Big 3 is amazing. I feel like tons of people overlook some of these coasters or underlook them and say they're the best of their kind, but I feel like Afterburn should have a bit of less attention, and Intimidator should have way less attention than it deserves. Because there's other good B&M hypercoasters out there that no one talks about. Number 2 is the Cedar Point Big 3 of Intamin's Top Thrill Dragster, Millennium Force, and Maverick. I could put this at number 1, as I could number 2. But I feel like the coaster manufacturer's variety isn't the best because Maverick and Top Thrill Dragster, they both have launches, but Millennium Force and Maverick both have airtime moments, while Millennium Force and Top Thrill Dragster and Maverick all have fast speeds. So I see why these coasters are similar, but these coasters are actually very different from each other. Millennium Force is a super long ride with a cable lift hill, amazing overbank turns, and airtime, while Maverick is this intense Intamin Blitz coaster, which is the extreme version of Cheetah Hunt with some intense turns, ejector airtime, and a launch, while Top Thrill Dragster has one of the best launches you can ever find on coaster, with an amazing top hat and drop even though it's short. This Big 3 is so good, but I feel like number 1 is slightly better. Banshee the Beast and Diamondback at Kings Island. This Big 3. What an amazing variety. The Beast, an amazing wind coaster considered one of the best wind coasters in the world, with two amazing large drops, 2 lift hills, tons of turns, and straight sections. There's an intense helix at the end of the ride. Diamondback, an amazing B&M hypercoaster with great floater airtime even though it has a rattle, but so good. And Banshee is a very good B&M invert that's glossy smooth, has some amazing inversions, and is considered, in my opinion, the best B&M invert out there. This variety, the coaster variety of Kings Island is super good, and I feel like the Beast, Diamondback, and Banshee show a great variety. One is all about the inversions, one is all about the airtime, and one is about the length. That's what I love about this Big 3. And plus, all 3 of these rides are long rides, which is excellent. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.